Hi, Sin. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, hello. How are you? Are you okay?
Uh, Bit busy, but yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So, Sin, I understand your pain, but let us try to do our best, Sin. So, no pressure. What I want to say that if you are pressured, maybe this is I didn't have a chance to explain to you, but when you are nervous or angry or sad, your brain cannot really solve problems. Okay, so let us be away from this zone. You really need to be somehow optimistic. Whatever happened in the past, it's okay, it's fine. We will try to correct that as much as we can, and I believe we still have time on the final exam. um, we will try to do our best on the mock, like your mother explained to me. Although I didn't have a full picture from your mother, I that was a bit blurry. But you explained to me somehow in your text, so it should be fine. I think we there is no need to worry, um, because again, if you worry, then even the mock exam also you will not be able to perform. So I see. Uh, I mean, there is no need to worry. We still have time, and we will do our best in that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, my question to you, uh, even the even the theoretical questions that I passed you, was it difficult to you?
Oh, oh wait, I think I didn't see those.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Because
Okay, wait, let me. Oh, the Mac and HTML.
yes, yes. So was that
Oh,
difficult to you?
okay. Um, Not really.
Okay, that's a good start point. Okay, okay. So let me start first with Python and pseudocode, since I already have them open in front of me, and then we will move to the theoretical question, and then we go through it together. So my my recommendation, since we have a short time, what I will do is that I will try to solve with you past exam questions as much as we can. But with the pseudocode and Python, I still have to make sure that you have some basics before we proceed. So again, um, you have to understand that if you answer in pseudocode, you will need to write a longer lines of code in general, because there is more steps that is needed if you want to write pseudocode. So let me compare that. Have a look at this code. Did you understand it?
Um, yeah,
Okay. So do you know this is a list 1D array?
yes.
Okay. Did you understand this? I know this is maybe not so common to you. I mean, the for loop is common. I understand, or not. It's not common.
Four is common. Number in numbers. Number is telling how many how many values there are in numbers.
No,
In which is the list? No.
no, no. So every time. Okay. So did you take for I in range? Did you see that before?
Yeah.
Have you read? I mean, so saying, I just want to tell you something, and that I'm not here to examine you or to test you. I'm here to help you. So it's if you no need to worry that if you say I cannot remember, or I didn't take it, or I don't know about it. So that helped me make a decisions where to go and where to focus. So no need to worry. Again, I'm not testing you. I'm not your examiner. I'm only here to help you move forward. Did we agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So eh, typically, when you use this for I in range, typically we count how many um, numbers in this list. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can say 5 like that here. So if we do this for loop like that, we guarantee that this for loop will actually loop or execute the instruction that follows the for loop for a number of times. What is the number of times? So I typically start with 0. Am I right or no?
Yeah.
Okay,
Actually, usually they write as count.
okay,
Is it?
fine. Yeah. I
Is
mean,
it?
it's your choice. Yes, it's your choice. Okay, if you're comfortable to write it count like that, okay, you can write it I, you can write it count, you can write it X. It's a variable name that you control. It's up to you. It's totally under your control. Variable names you choose. But the most important thing when you choose a variable name, make it understandable, make it clear. Okay, so for count in range, it means that, okay, let me don't use I anymore. Okay, let me use count. So the possible count values will start from 0 until it reach 2, 3, and then 4. Will we reach 5 or not?
No.
Okay, you are correct, because whatever we write in range, so the last number we write in range or the highest number we write in range here will be excluded. So it means that this range will make us loop for 4 times from 0 until 4. So we reduce this number by 1. Or we can say, since we are counting, so another way also to understand it, since we are counting from 0, so if you count from 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in reality, you are looping 5 times, but you are not looping from 1. You are looping from 0. Is that clear to you, or this is new to you?
Clear. Because this is because when you first run it, it's technically loop count number 0. So when it goes through, for us we call that 1 because we start the count at the end of the thing. But if you started at the start of it, it would be 1, and then when we end, it will be 2. That's why it's 4, not 5.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, it's good that you have an idea about that. Okay, so if we look at numbers here, so it means that we can translate. So we put here count. So forget about that. So, and we can say this is an advanced way to do loops. But since we are before the mock exam, I don't think that I would like to introduce you to new things. I just would like to build on whatever you know. Later on, we can teach you short ways that can make things easier for you. So the point, if we decide ever to use Python in making you solve the final exam question, not the mock one, is to actually make you write shorter lines of code, which means that if you really get the idea of the question, you will write shorter lines, because Python have a way that makes things compact and code compact and short, if you understand it. Okay, if it's confusing to you, then definitely you have to stick with pseudocode, and then you will write longer lines of code. That I will explain to you in the next slide, which is I write the same exact code but in pseudocode, so you will notice the difference. So
Because
now,
Python has I'm not sure what to call them, like shortcuts. It's like they have the built-in like average and all that. You don't need to write it out in pseudocode. Like
um,
plus together and then divide.
yes, but you have to understand, no, there is no average, there is no ready-made average, but there is ready-made sum. So there is ready-made sum,
Oh
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
ready-made minimum, there is ready-made maximum function. So if you want to find the minimum and the maximum, you don't need to really write a loop. In pseudocode, you have to write a loop to find it. But in Python, you don't have. So that is
Yeah.
what we call shortcuts. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good. So what I wanted to say, um, did you understand this form of loop?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you understand what when we use f like that inside the print statement?
Uh no.
Okay. So the normal print statement, you are not able to mix variable names with text.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Usually you have to do it
So
separately.
yes, and normally it will not be the same color like the other text, but since we want to mix variable names here, so we have two variable names, total and count. So we put them already inside the text. This is with the help of f. So when we use f, then we are able to do that. If we don't use f like this, then we are not able to integrate variable names in this way. So this is a trick here. So first of all, now, do you understand what we are doing with this code?
Mm,
What is the purpose of this code?
counting the total, yeah, it's sum
Yes, it's
and how
first is
many
sum. Yes, and the count.
yeah, how
Yeah,
many
okay.
numbers you use.
Excellent. So if you want to find the average, then it will be easy, right? It will be one step. Just divide the total by the count, and then you got the average. Is it
Yeah,
clear? Okay,
yeah.
that's really good. Now, just give me a second. I will share with you. Let me see here. I share with you that code. Okay, so forget about what you're seeing here. So I want to say if you have, okay, let me put this total equal 0 like that, and the count, no, we can put it equal 10, and we put here 100. So if I want to print in the normal way, I would say total is, and then I would put total like that. Am I right? Will that print?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would also say I will put here, but not total. I will put here count like that. And I will say count. And then I will put here if. So let me run and see if this really work. Of course, this have a lot of code for advanced levels. So let us remove that and we run. So again, let us remove here, we run again. That will give us a clear. So can you see now? I think it's
Yeah.
clear, right? Did you ever
Yeah.
run on Rebellet?
I just started like half an hour ago.
Okay, okay. So this is a good way that you try to run and test your code. That will really make things stick to your brain. Okay. So now you see the difference. I will go back and share
Okay.
the slide. Okay, so if I would like to run or to write the same exact code but in pseudocode, so that is what I'm going to do. The problem here that in pseudocode, like you see in front of your eyes, we have to do a lot of declarations. So you cannot use a variable before you declare it. Okay. Sometimes in the exam, when it comes to 2D arrays or even 1D arrays, they will ask you to skip the declaration. But other than that, variables you still have to declare. Okay.
Yeah.
So now again, you have to declare and you have to initialize. Is that clear that this is a declaration and this is initialization?
Yes.
You know the difference, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this loop? You understand it?
Yeah. It's the same as
It's exactly the
for
same.
number. Yeah.
Yes, except that in the pseudocode we have to add this next, right? And
Yeah.
here, yeah, just put output or even print, and then it will do the job for us. Okay, so clear? We go to the next.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you told me that you are able to write that in pseudocode. Am I right?
Yeah.
You have a chance to write it?
I can type it out now.
And I think no need. But let me tell you, uh, both programming and mathematics, they cannot really be studied by eye. If you do that, then you will face problems when you are in the exam. You will face really big problem in recalling what you studied. So theoretical part is fine, okay, but programming I don't advise you. That's why I will try my best to give you exercises so that you try to how to say make your brain works, okay. So in the class, in the typical classes, when we have a long time, when I have a student like my other students, when we have a longer period, then I make them right in front of me. So inside the class, I will give them one or two exercises so that I can see how they think, and then I somehow tailor the syllabus or what we are teaching them to really improve their level. In this case, maybe since we are a little bit rushing based on your mother recommendation, so I maybe I fear if I give you time to write inside the class, we will not be able to cover a lot. So that's why I will depend that you do that offline, and then you tell me when you have a mistake or issue, then we uh, improve that in the class.
Okay.
Do you agree with that way? Again, if yes, I am thinking of something to help you, but if it doesn't fit you, then you need to feed me back.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. Again, there is no worries if you have a different opinion. Just have a look here. Um, I think maybe this code is slightly difficult to understand. Is it?
Uh,
So first of all, what did?
where does true come from? Like, where does the true?
Well, okay. So the while true is a concept that makes the while loop forever. Okay.
Oh, so it's just while forever, yes.
Yes, while forever. So the while typically check the condition here. If it is true, then it will execute. If it is not true, then it will stop. So, but the concept of putting true is to make it loop forever, and then you break it based on a condition. Okay. So you see here the word break. So if you ever see true, you must use break. This is not a,
Otherwise, it'll go forever.
sorry again.
Otherwise, it will go forever.
Yes, it will loop forever. It's true. Okay. Certain pieces of code might require you that you loop forever, but this is not the recommendation. Um, to be frank, if you ever start to become a programmer in the future, that's not truly recommended. But it is a short way to make things run somehow. So, okay, first of all, what did you understand about this exercise?
So what I plan to do was make a loop that was a variable
Mhm.
sum, and then I keep adding sum until the user inputs like maybe 0
Or
or
-1.
uh,
Forget about 0 because typically you either use a text or -1. So -1 is common. It's used a lot. Okay. So if the user, because typically we can, if we are adding marks, for example, so most of the exam questions you will find it talking about tickets or marks for students. So typically -1 is not a mark. 0 can be a mark, but -1 no. Okay.
oh, okay.
So let us stick to using -1 to end any loop that we would like to have. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. So it means that you have a loop, and then you will ask the user to input something, and then the number that the user input, you will keep adding it to sum, and then
Yeah.
if you use a count, then you're able to average the numbers. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, okay, no, here I'm not using -1. I'm using done. Okay, but typically you can still use -1 here. So if we are able even to check here, to check if number is equal -1, so we break. Okay, here I'm using float, but you can use int. Did you ever see int or use it?
In integer?
Well, yes, it is, but that is a method. This is not a data type. So integer is a data type, but method is, this is a method that takes text and change it to an integer. So if you, okay, now let me put it this way. In pseudocode, they are not so specific. It means that anything that you use input with, did you see this input before in pseudocode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it takes what? It takes something from the user, and then we are able to process that, right? So
Yeah.
in the pseudocode, we never care that what the user enter is text or integer. We never care. Okay. Pseudocode is just a loose representation of algorithm, so they don't really care about the syntax. But in Python, different story. Anything that the user input like that, did you see this input statement or
Yeah.
method? Okay, anything that the user input is actually text, not really numbers. If you try to do arithmetic operation on that number, actually it will not do it. There can be no arithmetic operation that can be done on text. So anything that the user input is actually text. If you want to do any arithmetic operation, which means adding, like here, you need to convert it to an integer or even to the float. Do you know what the meaning float?
Temporary store.
No, float is float. So float is like 5.3. This is a float number. So integer is 50 minus 50, 10.
Oh, float is
That's
a
a,
decimal number.
yes, it's a kind of decimal number. Yes. So we call it real in pseudocode. Do you know real
Oh,
in
okay.
pseudocode?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me try to fast show you that here. So okay, if I say n equal input, okay, and then I put here like that, and then I say um, sum equal, okay, plus equal n. Let me see if I try to print sum, what will happen? Okay, so I will run. He will ask for me to enter a number. So I put 10. So look at the error, please. So unsupported operand with built-in, and then he mentioned to me string. He
String is
is
text.
yes, is exactly is text. So what I can do, there is two options. So I can say number here equal int n, okay, and then I
You
say
change
here
that to number.
yes. So if I
Okay.
say like that, definitely he will start to accept. Maybe he's not sure why he is not accepting here. Maybe because we didn't define here like that. So yes, he will start to accept. So I put 10. Okay, so again, if I want to put here 100, if I put here in the sum 100 and I add 10 to it, then you will see here 110. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Am I moving so fast? I need to slow down.
No need.
Okay,
I can
but
understand. Yeah.
okay, so you got the concept. So again, so I understand that maybe yeah, the Shigu does not really explain that here. So if I try to do any operation on something that is not initialized in the memory, so this is a RAM here. So when I come here and do this line, so he will go reserve a place in the memory and mark it as sum, and then put 100 inside it. So what you're doing here is actually, this is short for sum equals sum plus number. So he will try to get whatever is stored. So here is number, stored also in the memory. In this case, we have 10 stored inside. So he will go and retrieve the place or whatever is stored in the place in the memory that is marked as number. And then he will do the same for sum. He will go to the memory, try to fetch out whatever is stored in the RAM in the place that is marked as sum. But he will not find it. If we didn't write this here, he will not find it. So that's why this error will come out. So he tried to add the number to sum, but sum is not actually known to him. It's not defined to him. So he cannot retrieve it from the memory to add something to it. Did you understand what I said?
Yeah. So
Did you?
if you don't define, then your computer will try to add, but because there's nothing to add, so there'll be errors.
He will get confused. He's getting confused. He tried to. He is not aware sum is what. It could be a string. So if it is a string, then he cannot add it here. So he's not aware what is sum. He searched in his memory. He cannot find any trace for that. That's why the error comes out. Once I initialize it, then it works for him. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So just I forgot to tell you, typically because we are recording this session, so every 30 minutes we have to close and open again. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's good. So let me go back here. So the reason, again, here, what I want to say, what we are doing here is that we are taking an input, and then that input we will add it to sum, and then we are counting. So it is exactly the same like before, exactly the same like the previous code. Okay, except that previous code you saw that we are adding numbers from an array, but here we are taking the numbers from the user. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this code? Can you understand anything from this code?
So it takes a stored.
This is, I mean, this is part of that code. This is a complete, I mean, the second, I mean, so because the page is a slide is limited, so I cannot write the whole code one shot. So this is part one and this is part two.
Oh, okay. So this part just calculates the average, and then it tells if if you cannot calculate the average, then there's no numbers entered.
Perfect. Do you know why we are doing this?
Because your count will definitely be more than 0 as long as you entered something. So if you didn't enter anything, then your count is 0. So
Okay.
then no numbers entered.
No, it's more serious than that. If you divide by 0, you will have an error called division by 0 error. You have an exception that comes out from Python that is called division by 0. I understand that maybe you never saw that, but if I have a chance and we go back to the Python compiler, and then I will, actually it's an interpreter, I will show you how if we divide by 0 will get us an error. So that's why we want to protect our code should never try to actually divide by 0. Okay?
Okay. Because
okay.
It's because of like simple math. Like you cannot divide anything by 0.
Yes, and the same goes for coding. Okay?
Okay.
Clear. Good. And then, okay. So this is the exact code, but in pseudocode. So this is the same solution. So this is part one. Oops. Okay. So we close and open again, please.
Okay.